Today, I'm presenting our new restaurant template. We'll create a project from it and then customize it. We go to Content Island and click on Add Project. We'll define a name for the project, for instance, Azure Tide House Restaurant, which will serve as the primary brand identifier throughout the build. We'll indicate that the project should be created based on a template. We click on Next. We pick the restaurant template and hit Complete to get things moving. And now the project is created. Now we're going to copy the instructions to create the project using the Visual Studio Code terminal. We copy this command and head over to VS Code. I have an empty folder open here along with the terminal. I paste the command. Press Enter, and the Content Island CLI will ask us a series of questions. Where do I want to create the project? Since my folder is empty, I use a dot to tell it to create it there. If I wanted to create it in a subfolder, I just enter the subfolder's name. I press Enter. And now it asks if we wanted to install the dependencies for us, meaning an npm install. We say yes. And now the project is ready to be run. If we now type npm run dev in the terminal, the dev server starts up and we can copy this URL, in my case, localhost 4321. I go to the browser. And here you can see the template loading. Let's explore it. What do we have here? A header with the navigation links. A hero section where the restaurant's name is shown in large text with a subtitle, a background image, and a prominent booking button. A call to action. If we scroll down, we can see a menu section where the user can download the restaurant's menu. An intro space with a description of the restaurant and an image gallery. A content block featuring an embedded, interactive Google Maps map, which is used to clearly show the specific location. A section intended for contact and so that you can book a table. And finally, a footer with contact info, address, copyright, and the option to view the site in several languages, if you have that enabled. As well as a page for cookie management and another page for the privacy policy. Now it's time to customize it with our restaurant's data. How can we do it? In the template documentation, you'll find a map where you can see how the different web sections are linked to the content model behind them. Now, let's see how to customize it. But here comes the plot twist. In this case, we're not going with an Italian vibe. The concept will focus on a seafood restaurant centered around fish and shellfish dishes. A completely different concept. So let's transform it. I'm going back to Content Island. I have my project open and I'm going to click on the Content tab. I'll enable the tree view. And I'll go to the entity, Theme. I'm going to choose Theme Pizzeria. And right here, I could change colors and fonts. And instead of reds and warm Italian tones, we can go for deep blues, marine tones, something more elegant and in line with a fish and seafood-themed restaurant. In our case, we're in luck because this template already offers a theme blue that's configured just for that. And if you're thinking about a different vibe, don't worry, we'll be rolling out more restaurant themes soon. Argentine, steakhouse, vegan, and more. If one fits your concept, great, use it. If not, you can easily tweak the colors and fonts to match your own style. So we go to Visual Studio and in the project we look for src, layouts, API, content API.ts. Okay, And I'm going to look for the call to get theme. We scroll down to get theme. Here we are. And instead of pizza, I'm going to copy the name of the blue theme, blue. I'll come here and paste it. I save, a build is launched. In case we didn't have the local server enabled in the terminal, we would do an npm run dev. And if I go to the browser and refresh, you see that it's now in warmer blue tones. Let's begin. It's already starting to look quite promising. Alright, let's keep going. Time to swap out the favicon. See that red pizzeria icon in the browser tab? Let's switch it to something that fits our brand better, so that it aligns with our seafood restaurant concept. To do this, I go to Content Island, choose General, and here I can replace the favicon. I'm going to delete the current one and add a new one. Here, if I click on Add Files, it shows the File Explorer, or I can also drag and drop. I've just added an SVG with our restaurant's favicon. We click on Publish. We go back to the browser and hit refresh. You can see the favicon here. And to change the window title, we go back to Content Island. Click on the page modeling for its metadata. Choose the main page meta. And down here we change the title, and we could also change the description if we wanted. For example, we can put this one. We click on Publish. Let's go back to the browser. Refresh the page. And now we can see that our restaurant's name appears in the title. Now, let's move on to the Hero section. We need to update this title, the subtitle, and the background image. The call to action works fine. We'll leave it as is. Back to Content Island. We choose Hero. The Hero section. We'll update the title with our restaurant's name, refine the subtitle to properly describe our concept, and replace the background image. We click on Add Media and drag and drop one that's more suited to our type of restaurant. There we go. We click the Publish button. Go back to the browser. Let's refresh and see the changes live. And now you can really see the concept coming together. We missed one detail. And that's that the pizzeria's name is still in the main menu. Let's change it. We go to Content Island, choose Header. And here in Header, under Home, if I click Go to Content, I can enter the name here. It would be Azure Tide House. We click on Publish. Go back and hit refresh. Now we have it updated. Moving on to the menu section. We'll remove any mentions of pasta or pizza from the content. Instead, we want to focus on seafood. Let's adapt the message. And also in Download menu. If we click, it now downloads the old pizzeria menu, and we want to see our restaurant's menu. Let's update it. I'll close this. We go to Content Island. I'll choose the menu section. In the description, I update it and in the menu, I delete the current one. Click on Add Media and drag and drop my restaurant's menu. Let's hit Publish. Back to the browser, let's refresh. Here we have the menu. If we just click right here, we can simply see our restaurant's menu. Next step, the restaurant section, where we talk about the experience we offer and show a series of photos of dishes we have available. Back to Content Island, we choose the restaurant section. We scroll down. Update the description, go down, and here we have the photos. Let's delete them. Click on Add Media, and here we can either open the Explorer and choose the photos one by one, or choose 3 at once, or drag and drop the 3 photos. In my case, I choose the 3 photos, drag and drop. The 3 photos are already up on Content Island, good to go. I click on Publish. Back to the browser, refresh. And here you can see the restaurant section with our description and our photos. We'll now modify the location data, including the address and business hours in the information section, and update the embedded map accordingly. Now, heading back to Content Island, and specifically in the location section entry that I'm selecting right here, what I'm going to do next is update the description for this particular location. So let's go ahead and make those changes together. And now, if I scroll down, you can see the map URL right here, showing where the restaurant is in an embedded format. How can I generate a URL like this for my restaurant's location? Well, let's head over to Google Maps. I'm going to copy and paste my restaurant's address. And here, if I click on the Share button, I'll click the Embed a Map tab. I click the Copy HTML button. Then I'll go to a text editor. I'll paste it and keep the part inside the src attribute, that is, this Google Maps address, which is a bit long. Let's copy it and take it with us. Quick heads up, just grab what's inside the src quotes, nothing else. We go back to Content Island and paste that URL into map URL. Let's also update the address. We come here and replace it. And if we wanted to, we could also update the opening hours. Let's click Publish. Back to the browser, let's do a refresh. And if we go to Location, we can see the map points to the new address, and we also have the description and address sections updated. Let's move on to the next section, which is Reservations. And here we can update the description, the phone number, and the email. For simplicity's sake, we're just going to update this description. We go to Content Island and look for Reservations. Here it is. We click it. And we're going to change the description text. You also have the option here to change the phone number, for example. We click Publish. Back to the browser, let's do a refresh. And here we have it updated. Now let's move to the footer, where we have the contact info, the address, and the copyright. Let's update it. We go to Content Island, look for footer, here it is. We click. We update the restaurant name. The motto of the restaurant. The contact information. The address, and we could also update the social media. We also have to update the copyright. and the link to the cookies page and the privacy policy page. For social media, we can either add more, if we have them available here, or by clicking on each social network, we can configure it and add the link to our specific social media page. Let's publish. If you've been jumping around and aren't sure what's live and what's not, just hit bulk publish. It'll show you everything that's still waiting to go live. I can choose which ones to publish and which ones not to, and then click publish. We go back to Content Island, we do a refresh. And here we have the updated footer. The last details would be to configure the cookies pages and the privacy policy. What's the process to implement this? If you want to tweak something, just head over to Cookies, click in, and update the company name or whatever you need. Same with the privacy policy. Also, I should mention that the cookies banner is implemented, which, if we had entered in incognito mode, we'd see it appear and we'd have to accept it. And here you have the text in case you want to customize it. If you take a look, it's turned out really well. We've changed a lot, and it doesn't look anything like the original pizzeria site anymore. And now there's one important detail left. What if you need to have the website in multiple languages? If you're on Content Island Pro or above, you unlock multi-language support. Let's say we want to add Spanish. We go to Content Island. I click on the General tab. I hit Edit, Add Spanish, and Save. That's it. I just go to Visual Studio Code, stop my development server, and then start it up again. And if I refresh now, as we can see here, we simply have the option for either English or Spanish as our language selection. What happened here? Well, in Spanish, I have the data for the Italian restaurant. Let's go ahead and translate them. To make the task of switching from English to Spanish less tedious, in Content Island, starting from the Pro plan or higher, we offer the Smart Copy feature, which allows you to both copy and translate fields from one language to another. This gives you a good starting point so that afterwards you only have to do a quick read-through and some fine-tuning. Let's go back to Content Island. We click on the Content tab, and we're going to try to automatically translate, for example, the General, Header, and Hero sections. Translating the rest of the sections is very similar. We go to General, and what do we have here? Here we have the favicon icon. I click on Spanish, then on Smart Copy. And in this case, I don't want to translate any content. I just want to copy it from the English content. We click, and there we go. Let's go for the header. We click, and in this case, we have a series of objects. If we go to Spanish, we have them there too. In the event that I had a language where those values weren't copied by default, I could use Smart Copy. Now what I'm going to do is go element by element and apply Smart Copy where applicable. I go to Home, and here I have the Azure Tide House label and the URL. And here in Spanish, it's La Dolce de Vola. Let's apply Smart Copy. In this case, we're switching the content from English to Spanish, but we're not translating everything. The restaurant name stays in English. So we just copy it directly. Let's go to the next element. I click on La Dolce de Vola again, and the next one was menu. So let's translate the menu one. We click on Go to Content. And menu can also stay the same. Let's see how it is in Spanish. Well, it has an accent, that's fine. Let's go for the next one, which is restaurant. And let's see if it's translated correctly. Yes, no need to apply translation or copy. Location, I think, is also fine. Ubication, perfect. And finally, contact. Here it says reservations and here it says reservas. It's perfect. And finally, the hero section. Let's go here. There's the title, which we don't need to translate, but we do need to copy it. This part is fine to translate, this one too, and we'll copy the image. Let's go here. Here is the old version, the one for La Dolce di Vola. So we're going to do a smart copy. And we'll indicate what we want to translate. Well, we said no to the title, because it was the restaurant's name. The subtitle, yes. The call to action as well. Let's click on copy. And now we have it here. We might just need to review this text, see if we like it, and if not, make some modifications. Since we've made a bunch of changes and might not remember where everything is, we can just jump into bulk publish, review them all, and push everything live in one go. If we go to the website and do a refresh, notice that we already have this whole part translated. And, for example, reviewing the text, you might notice and say, oh, this text is a bit weird in Spanish. I'd rather use the excellence of the sea. Let's go here and change it. Where the excellence of the sea meets culinary art. We publish it and we do a refresh. And now all that's left is to apply smart copy to each section. And that's it. We've turned an Italian template into a high-end seafood restaurant, barely touching any code, just by mastering the structure, the model, and the content.